Hello again, folks. Just a quick video for you today. It's another one in my Hugo winners project. Just the one book to do today, and I'll tell you why later. Anyway, for those new to the project, basically I used to read a lot of science fiction back in the 60s and 70s mainly, and early 80s. But I read a lot of short stories. Well, now I'm back into it. I'm trying to redress the balance by reading some novels, and I figured, well, I'd pick the Hugo award-winning novels because they're all apparently well thought of, but have a bash at those. So I'm trying to work my way through them, and today I have Rainbow's End by Werner Vinge. I don't know whether it's Vinge or Vingy. Some people pronounce it differently. But anyway, I'm going to call him Vinge because it's easier, okay? This won the Hugo Award in 2007. So it's fairly contemporary. The plot. It involves a poet called Robert Gu, G-U. He has Alzheimer's, and there is a cure for Alzheimer's, and he has all the characteristics for someone to get the cure, got all the physical characteristics, and so they give him the cure. The only problem is it destroys his ability to write poetry. And that's part of the plot line. Secondly, folks are trying to digitise all the libraries, all the books in the world, and destroy the books. And then there's another side issue where, well, it's a side issue, it's a main issue where people are doing naughty things in some biolab. Apart from that, I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue what's happening in this book. I've never said this before about a book, but I really hated this book with a passion. Didn't like it at all. This is actually a library book I borrowed. I won't be buying it, let's put it that way. And I wrote a few bullet points down actually just to remind me of what I despised about this book. Right, unintelligible plot. I really didn't know what was going on from one page to the next. Which leads me on to the main problem: too much techno babble. I'm mired in the 60s and 70s when it comes to science fiction, and I know a little bit about modern technology, but this stuff is just way beyond me, and I suspect it's way beyond quite a lot of average science fiction readers. How the science fiction writers of America sat down and voted this as a worthy Hugo winner is totally beyond me, because they either got together and thought, oh, well, we'll vote for it because somebody else has, or they actually got a degree in obscure technology. So that amazed me. Next of all, I found the style of writing of this book. The author was just so smug and self-satisfied about what he knew of technology. Like I say, most of it just went straight over my head, and as I say, I didn't have a clue what was going on half the time. So I found the writing style, I didn't like it at all. It was if he had a secret that only he knew, or a joke that only he understood, because I certainly didn't. Most of the characters were unlikable, to be honest. There was a young girl, Miri, think her name was, who was, okay, but the rest of them, I just couldn't get along with them at all. At 380 pages, I felt the book was far too long for what it was trying to achieve, if I understood what it was trying to achieve. And the last point, because of that, because of the other points I've mentioned, it was an absolute slog for me. Absolute slog. In fact, I'll give you a quick breakdown of how I read this book. I got halfway through and I'm thinking, can I do this? Can I really do this? Anyway, I got to within 150 pages at the end and thought, no, I can't do this. I'm absolutely pig sick of this book. I just can't. It's driving me mad. So I put it away for a couple of days. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to rip a book to shreds online, I really should read it. Really should read it all. And give my impressions on the basis of having read it all. And so I restarted it. Then I got to within, 180 pages. I thought, oh man, is this ever going to end? And I thought about packing it in then, but I thought, no, got to keep going. Actually, fortunately, the last 40 pages were more like what I would call a proper novel without all this techno stuff. It read, the characters came more into focus. Some of the things that I thought I'd missed kind of came into focus as well. So the last 40 pages was fairly easy to do, I was glad to say. But by the time I'd finished it, I was just burned out, I think. So, I mean, that probably sounds more like a critique, more like a review instead of my personal impressions of the book. But anyway, that's just how I felt about it. Now, as you know, I always give a mark based on my impressions of the book. And normally, as you know, it's 1 to 10 with 5 average. I've created a new system for this one. It's 0 to 10, where 5 is average. And I've seen about giving this 0. Quite frankly, I hated it that much. But then, because of the last 40 pages being vaguely readable, oh no, I won't be mean, I'll give it half. So that's half out of 10 for Rainbow's End by Werner Vinge. Unfortunately, he does have another Hugo winner, which I'll have to get to eventually. And it's about twice as long as this. It's massive tome. So I'm really looking forward to that one. As I say, I've never disliked a book as much as this one. And if there's any of you out there that like it, I do apologise. If there's any of you out there that like it and disagree with me, please write in, please comment, because I'd love to hear from you. But anyway, the overall feeling after reading that book is maybe I'm getting a bit burned out on these Hugo winners, because I've read quite a lot in the last couple of months, and some of them have been quite long. So I'm maybe putting the project on a slight hiatus for a little while I do something else. So anyway, thank you for hearing me ramble on about this awful book. But it's a Hugo winner, so it has to be done. Anyway, keep writing in, keep subscribing. Please share if you can, and I will be along with something that's not a Hugo winner in the not too distant future. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.